Hi, everyone. 3 books today, starting out with JSA. Firstly, let's just get this right out of the plot isn't that complex.
No.
It isn't like the last time.
Pause it, or start over.
It isn't like the last time the JSA had their own major series. Hang on a minute. It isn't like the last time the JSA had their own series. It's more like and no, I'm not counting the miniseries as a series in itself. I'm counting the fact that when the series finished at its most productive length, well, that's not entirely true either, but Jeff Johns' original run, I'm counting that as last time the JSA had their own series. And it's not like that. It doesn't open with a big murder or have Thom solving a puzzle at the end of it. An equation, rather. This one, you find out Todd's the traitor, and basically that's the big twist, and that the Legion of Doom, or the bad guys, basically, have reformed, and Johnny Sorrow is Todd. And that's the big twist. And you see at the table, Mom, help me show the table, please. It's the very ending page here. Okay. You see at the table all these villains. One of these villains is the doctor who did that to Jay Garrick in the Jay Garrick series, right? He created Jay. That was the big twist of the Boom's big appearance in JSA canon. And you see that Gentleman Ghost is still a villain, and that the Red Lantern is still a villain too, in this pile of villains, which means that Jeff Johns' run on the miniseries still counted for something. Which brings me to my question. Where's the Boom? If we're going to count that guy... Show him the thing again, please, Mom. If we're going to count that guy, the Dr. Doom-looking guy right there, we should count the hero. Because you can't just count the villains and say, oh, the villains counted, and not count the heroes too. That's just not right. Because we should have at least more good guys than bad. That's like teaching little kids, oh, it's cooler to be a villain. No. If Jeff Johns' run counted for anything, the miniseries, it should count for introducing so many different characters. I'd like them to explain the ending battle, but I know that's never going to happen. The ending battle, like I said, was more of a glorified Where's Waldo page in that review, but this is slightly better than that because there's more story. I'd give the book a 3, but at the same time, where's the boom? What happened to Judy? She is nowhere in this book. Are we not going to count the Jeff Johns creations in the latter half as even existing anymore? If we don't do that, that's a lot of creations. That's a lot of non-existent characters that just... I mean, nobody's asking this question. Nobody's asking where Jay Garrick's daughter went. She was my favorite from all of the Justice Society mini and the mini-series around that. So the adjacent series. When I looked it up, let's go with that route. When I looked it up, people were telling us how, in the shorts, how prolific Jeff Johns is. And if he truly was that prolific with the JSA and Green Lantern and all that, and they're not going to count his characters because he went to Image for Ghost Machine in this book, you're going to leave out a lot of freely created characters. Not to say they were created free, but what I mean is you're leaving out a decent chunk of the DC universe if you're going to deny what Jeff Johns did. And from a story standpoint, Judy's dad just went missing. In this book, they acknowledge that Alan Scott, Jay Garrick, and the Hawkmen are all missing. If my mom went missing, I'd be the first to get on that. So if they're not trying to rob her from existence, and I'm wrong, what's she doing while her dad's missing? That it just raises further questions. I mean, and Dr. Fate explodes. Yeah, he's out of commission. So, I hope that the overall stories from this run aren't as simple as this. It isn't just trying to scrub Jeff Johns from continuity the whole time instead of embracing something. Because there was no real reference to Helena Wayne's future team. In fact, Gentleman Ghost being a villain, Solomon Grundy being a villain. Kind of lost at points. That's why it was no reference to Wayne's team whatsoever. That's why it was very for me. I'm giving it a 3. It isn't even the best book in the pile today. Best book in the pile. If you're going story-wise, I'd say Ghost Machine. But if you're going universe building wise, I'd say Shazam. So, yeah. I mean, it felt like, why I even pick up the miniseries at all if you're not gonna reference it other than the bad guys. So, anyway, 3 out of 5. Shazam. I get that. I get that Freddy. I get that Freddy has a microchip in his skin, or rather, he is somehow teamed up with this franchise, and they formed a lightning bolt, and he has lost control of himself. But the cover does not happen. Let's start there. Talkie Tawny doesn't appear in this at all. Freddy and Billy are gonna patch things up, same as they always do. That's my prediction. The lightning bolt's gonna fall off. It's gonna be the guy that was manipulated by Mr. Mind that built the darn thing, or gave Hephaestus the idea. They're gonna somehow tie it back to him. They're gonna say Freddy wasn't worthy. The fight, I guess, kinda happens. Yeah. But at the same time, it's not Freddy at his most upper point. It's not him as the Wizard or the Rock, or it's not him right after Crisis. It's him as a new superhero in the New 52, which he's not. So, I know this is going to 20. I've said it before. 20 has Superboy on the cover. So, they obviously patch up this fight after the next issue because they gotta patch up this fight by the time Superboy shows up. Yeah. Which means the whole plot line with the girl, she must do whatever she's gonna do within, like, 2 issues. Had to check. 2 issues. And report back to Mr. Mind and do that whole thing. But I am thinking about picking up the questions all along the Watchtower based on the Futures End book. Because in Futures End, they have a captain real similar still. Future hasn't changed that much. And Deadman, like, possesses the question. It's one of the cool parts of it. But I'm curious to know, are they going to tie... Is the crossover that I think that they should do going to happen with the question and not with, like, the Justice League or whatever? But if this doesn't pick up by issue 20, I'm switching over to the question. Yeah. Now I'm going to blow your minds and say it too is a 3 out of 5 book because it still had the elements there. I didn't like they're trying to say Freddie Freeman's evil, but I know as a Shazam fan, I'll get over it right quick. So, now on to the reason that they are wiping Jeff Johns from DC history, or at the very least, the JSA, because he went and did this book. This book felt like a book you'd pick up from, like, Walmart or something. And I really enjoyed those Walmart 100-page giants. You can go back and see for yourself in the Walmart 100-page giants playlist. The one I am picking up out of curiosity is Hornsby and Halo. I might also pick up Redcoat. Redcoat is like an immortal Redcoat guy. He cannot die. They have, like, Einstein. It just looks totally up my alley. I would pick up the Irradiated Skull guy, but I don't remember the name of the series, and I see that's a detriment. Rook kind of looks too much like an anime for me. Hornsby and Halo is interesting because this is the Spawn universe of books, and you have, like, a dark side Highfather. I almost said Godfather. Highfather type deal, where they did some kind of switcheroo. And I'd like to see if Spawn's gonna show up in, like, their lives at all. If that's gonna connect. If it does, that's an automatic 4 for, like, almost every issue. I've heard that the Rockefellers aren't as good as what it appeared in this, which it kind of reminded me of Phil of the Future if you've watched that. So the book itself, 4. Definite hard 4. If I gave the JSA a lack of points for not having a world worth exploring, I have to give this more points for having a world that I feel has potential. That the bad guys aren't just gonna win. That's my big concern with JSA. That they're gonna say, oh, the bad guys are winning. No. I get that this had like 4 or 5 different writers. But yeah, I liked what each one of them brought to the table. I wouldn't mind living in, at the very least, Redcoat's world. It's fascinating. It wouldn't be like living in Gotham where you'd go, man, this place is a shithole. Yeah. Gotham, no. I mean, Rook, I don't want to live in Rook's world, but it is what it is. The Image world has found their spark with this. If they keep up appearances, I guess, or if they keep up story quality as is. So I don't know what writer did what. Again, Rook kind of sucked, but still better than an established universe that kind of feels like it's spinning its wheels and not sure what to do with the characters that they have. Anyway, good job, guys. Keep reading. Bob out.